All right. Welcome. The G.A.M.R podcast, episode number dos. Yours truly, Anthony. We got Jeffrey and Mark co-hosting. Welcome, fellas. Been a fine week. Missed you guys.
Such a fine week.
It's
That's debatable. Been a rough
The week was like a fine apple.
let's just jump right into it, huh? Welcome everybody.
Yo,
Welcome back.
Thank you for joining.
And if you don't join, then I don't know.
If you don't chew Big Red,
Piss off.
then
No, I'm just kidding. We
Whoa,
don't
whoa, whoa.
watch it.
Hashtag ad first. Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad.
Big Red, if you want this advertisement, you need to pay for it.
I have a question. Somebody asked me this the other day at work, and I was like, I kind of have the answer to it, but like I don't have the answer to it. Could Spider-Man beat Luke Skywalker?
Well, bro.
In what?
Like beat him
Chess?
up? Like when they
Like
when
checkers?
they fight?
I want to
It's
say
not even
when he
fair.
was-
No, that's
Can you
Luke
fight?
Skywalker. Like Spider-Man has no chance.
Do you think Peter Parker? Oh, sorry, Spider-Man would
Whoa,
be able to?
Whoa,
Spoilers.
whoa.
Do you think that Spider-Man could sense the Force before Luke uses it?
No.
Yes.
He could sense it, I think, but he wouldn't be able to do anything.
No.
What's he gonna do? Like, you can't choke me. Like, gonna move around like that?
I think he can sense it, and then he spins a little cocoon.
Yeah, he'll sense it
out
the
of
whole
web.
time he's being force choked into nothing.
He can't choke me. I'm
Yoda's
spinning
little green
myself
ass
a
in the
web.
background just chuckling.
How's Yoda gonna be?
Wait. Why is Yoda involved in this?
That was actually a really good, not baby Grogu act noise there.
He practices in the shower.
Shh, don't give away my secrets, fellas. All right. Copyright.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of close. I think it'd be pretty close.
No, not a chance.
I think
Dude, you got
I
Skywalker
think Luke would win. I'm not saying
force
Spider-Man would win.
projecting from the other side of the freaking galaxy.
We won't even talk about those powers. We'll stick to this.
All right. No.
good
That
powers.
it's Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's no longer canon.
But
Force
I think it would be-
projection from the opposite side of the galaxy. That's all I'm
so
gonna say.
without consent doesn't mean anything. Okay.
Spider-Man doesn't. No. All right.
I don't think
as
he
much
wins.
as
I don't think
much as I
Spider-Man
love
wins.
Marvel. Yeah. No. Absolutely not. I think
But
just
let's
absolutely
see,
makes him his bitch.
let's say not a fight. If you do something like
Checkers.
no, like who makes the nicest sweater? I think that Spider-Man makes the
That's
nice
dumb.
sweater. Spins the
Oh,
web.
I still think Spider-Man would wear out before Luke does. He doesn't even have to touch shit.
In a sweater contest? I don't think so, man. Spider-Man wins that shit.
The dude would make the most badass of cloaks. And then he's got a lightsaber to cut it out.
What was that? Making me choking on nothing over here.
All right, let's leave it up to the fans and the listeners. All right.
Yeah, let's
You got
hear it.
Spider-Man.
Fans and the listeners.
You got
There's
Luke
two different
Skywalker.
groups. There's fans and then there's the listeners.
There's
You
the
got
people
Luke
that listen to us and they
Skywalker.
don't like us. They're just here to listen to
He's
us. and be like,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, those guys are fucking dumb.
You've got the Force versus the Spider Tingle.
Who wins?
Which one's gonna win?
We want to know. Leave it in the comments.
No help. They're by themselves.
All right, that was entertaining. I like that. That's
Oh,
a
man.
that's a
I could
doozy.
use I could use a spider sweater. Like it.
I would want a fucking spider sweater too, man.
I'd wear that.
You know how hot that would be on eBay?
People spy on eBay? What year is it?
What year are you in? What is happening right now?
Future? You're in the past.
Sure, eBay is still relevant.
I'm not saying
Probably
it's-
even more
I-
so than
I'm
it was
saying-
before.
Arguably, yeah. You need a lot of resellers
I
for
don't
like shoes and cards and
ever-
stuff like that do that.
I've never gone
Yeah.
on there. Never. I went on to East Bay in high school.
Ooh.
Oh
Everyone
man,
did
I used to
eBay.
get that catalog all the time. I was like, I need some new shoes. And my parents are like, no, your shoes are fine. And I'm like,
You're right.
damn it. But
These
my
are the
feet
cleats
have
I'll never
grown. My
buy.
feet have grown. They're
These are
like,
the best shoes that'll never touch
that's
hardwood."
okay. We're just gonna like bind your feet I'm like, it hurts.
Well,
Yeah, it hurts.
speaking of bargain buys, how about that Cowboys offense? Entertaining.
Terrible.
Was
like,
it the offense
like
or
Dollar
was
Tree
it the
worthy.
officials?
I don't know.
A bit of both.
That was.
A bit of both.
I would have to say that the officials, since we are going to talk about some playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it.
Cue
Playoffs?
that up.
You
You were
kidding
so
me?
ready to press that.
Playoffs?
Oh yeah!
He's
Gotta hit the
I got
buttons.
something.
Gotta
I
hit
got
the
something
buttons.
lined up here. Just wait for
They
it.
should
wait for
not
it.
give me a
Boom.
soundboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
If it were up to us, you wouldn't have one.
I just still love that in that whole game, Rome was like, Kellen Moore, making great calls this year, not going to be here next year. Dan Quinn, great defensive coach, not going to be here this year. And both sides of the ball were kind of a miss for that day.
what did they allow? Almost 300 yards rushing, just under 250 or something like that.
Yeah, like ridiculous.
Was
Yeah, but
ridiculous.
come on now. Like, I mean,
Their offense was ridiculous though too, and they had what
how many-
14 penalties? I think it was. That's
Yeah,
can't
I think it was
ever hope
13,
to be
13
That's
or
efficient.
14.
that's efficient.
can't
But,
ever
like,
hope to be
that's
in a
what
game with that many penalties.
That's what I'm saying, though. Some of those penalties shouldn't have been penalties. Like, the only one that, not the only one, but the biggest one that sticks out for me is when they got that delay of game call when they went for it on fourth down, kept the people out there that went for it and got the first down. And then because they didn't know, like, it was just the weirdest thing. They were putting the play clock back up, then they subbed them out. It was just a crazy interaction of football right there. And then which led to them getting, of course, like I said, the delay of game penalty. And then, like, what the heck? I think they ended up getting a field goal on that drive and not a touchdown because of it. And it just,
I think it came down to Mike McCarthy doing Mike McCarthy things and Dak Prescott again. No.
yeah. There's been, I've seen some stuff that's had. I'm not sure if it's like actual reports or just the fans, but like people talking about, or I saw on Instagram or somewhere about Jerry Jones talking about maybe firing McCarthy and then just moving up Kellen Moore.
How many times have we seen, like, back in Packers era, where Mike McCarthy took a stellar offense and just shits the bed with it because he can't get anything going? Like, how, like,
Right.
under a different regime, Aaron Rodgers, arguably in his prime, with that offensive set, like, how many more Super Bowls do you think they win without Mike McCarthy? Another two? Maybe at least one, I would say.
At least one, I'd say. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I think that's fair.
They had such a good team, and I mean, yeah, Brady's won his Super Bowls, but Aaron Rodgers still, like, he's done it, man. And I think that without Mike McCarthy, like, they had such a well set offense, and they couldn't do anything because Mike McCarthy's calling some BS plays here and there and everywhere.
Right. I think, what was it, the year that it was the Ravens versus the Niners? That was the year that the Niners beat the Packers? Or did they beat the Seahawks?
To go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I think it might have been no, it might have been the Packers.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Because obviously that's the playoff where season, isn't it? Or was that the one before? Richard Sherman was like talking mad shit about Crabtree. No, because the Seahawks won the game, so that had to have been the year before or after. I think. Look it up.
I don't recall for sure, but
Yeah.
even still, like Packers, they could have gone to so many more or won at least one more. I'm convinced that they would have won at least one more without Mike McCarthy, because so many wasted weapons on that offense that he's just like, I'm gonna do Mike McCarthy things, and then just sits there, and I'm like,
A
really,
lot
guy?
like the Vikings. It almost sounds like we're talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, but being
Like-
a Vikings fan and watching the Packers, and I'm like, you've got so much talent and you're not doing anything with it. Whereas the Vikings they're always like a piece or two away. And then regardless, I mean, it's always been, yeah, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Leave my Vikings out of it.
So I looked it up, Professor. The Packers were this 3 seed, and looks like the Niners faced against the Falcons in the NFC Championship game. So maybe not that year would they have won it, but it's hard to say like which year they would have because of other teams and like what could have happened. But
like I said, they've
yeah,
been
absolutely.
so good.
I feel
under
like
him.
they could have had at least
They should
one
have
more trip to the Super Bowl. Maybe not
at
necessarily
least,
a
yeah,
win,
at least a
but
trip.
at least a trip.
I would say probably another win at one more at the very least.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm
I don't
curious
know.
to see how the coaches go too within these next couple weeks, and
It's gonna be
I don't ever
interesting.
remember when they can start hiring coaches because of how they have to go through like all of the applicants and whatever, and basically like no man left behind for interviews.
Yeah, I've
But I'm
lost
really
count to
curious.
how many interviews have been taken already.
I mean, I wasn't really counting them, but the amount of times that I don't need to see on social media, like, oh yeah, the Broncos interviewed Kellen Moore tomorrow. They're gonna interview Dan Quinn afterwards. Like, cool. Just give me the list of all the people they're gonna interview, and that's good enough for me. But anyway, I mean, they're trying to stay relevant and stuff like that. I'm just curious what for my team, what the Broncos are gonna do and better set themselves up. Because again, I think they need an offensive minded head coach to help improve their offense, where instead their head coaches have been like John Fox got him to the Super Bowl ish. Manning got him to the Super Bowl. And then Kubiak was a mix that's those seasons were a mix of good weapons and good play calling. And then of course Anthony will make his joke or his comment that, oh, Peyton Manning's like a coach and all this stuff and whatever. Your Chiefs have only been relevant for 4 years. So I think the Broncos need an offensive minded head coach.
I do believe we won the last 13 matchups, just saying.
13
in a row.
Good for you. Good for you.
No,
sometimes the little guys got to step up with the big guys, and then they'll go back to normal.
Okay, so I would ask you this then: what was the last relevant decision John Elway made besides picking up Peyton Manning?
Tim Tebow, bro. Come on now. I'm just kidding. No.
Oh yeah, Tebow time.
I mean, that's tough to say, really, for me. When I like from my point of view of the team and what I feel has been helpful. I mean, Bradley Chubb isn't a bad player. He just gets hurt. Brock Osweiler could have been, had he not got money hungry after he helped lead them to the playoffs, through the playoffs a little bit, or how he helped them that Super Bowl year. Like, I think he could have been really good with Denver had he stayed. He had the weapons. Everybody was there. But he left because of an own ego thing. So I think like he made good choices in those types of players. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, there's not really, man, and it's a good thing that Elway did this because really,
it's sad because like I've always been a fan of Elway. Like, dude just played hard every time he was on.
I'm not really a fan of Peyton.
But I don't appreciate the way he runs personnel. He's just missing something and he needs to figure it out because his last few drafts have just been hot trash for them.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to, I know we kind of touched on the officiating a little bit. Cowboys game. I think one of the major points there is take a look at Boger and his career at Cincinnati Vegas game. That was pretty bad.
But for me, like, yes, the whistle is very loud. But how, like, I mean, I guess the way they blow the whistles, you can tell they blew the whistle. But like, really, no. But if I remember when I watching it back, like the whistle isn't blown until like the ball's halfway through the air to the receiver. And so, yes, the Raiders kind of like stopped, but he was also burnt on the play. Like you kind of see him pull up a little bit, but it's pretty close to he was getting burnt and he pulled up. But then for me too, like what do they do if they call that play back? They're gonna have to redo the play, redo the down. Bengals score anyway. Either they score on that one or they score on the next one. I don't remember what down that was, but they're gonna score. Basically, is what was gonna happen. So does that really change the game that much?
Because I think it was just a bad outing for the officiating, and we've seen it more so lately. I would say that the end of the season was pretty sketchy as far as a lot of the this actually this whole season kind of pissed me off as far as
it really grinds my
bogus. There's these bogus roughing the passer calls that they keep throwing
the
out
one
there.
On Brady though.
Yeah. That was well, it was so ridiculous too, because that one, like, the way that the announcers came in and were like,
the taunting.
yeah, well, that
Yeah.
too. But I mean,
Brady can
that,
go tell a
let's
coach to
talk
fuck
about
off
that
and
hit
shit.
on Brady though. Like he hits him like in the hip, and the guy's pulling up and damn near catches
Like,
Brady
trying
as
to
he's
hold him
falling
in
to
the
the
air,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah, like he's like trying to
Bracing
like
his
he's like,
fall.
oh man, like I missed you, like baby, please don't leave
Kiss me like your son.
like
Oh, sorry.
so he's like trying to grab him and like they still throw the flag and even Mike Pereira is like, yeah, that shouldn't have been a flag. It just kind of it goes into the sense of like those players, Brady, Rogers at times, they get those calls. Like I mean they're like the LeBron James, like they're
mean,
just gonna go and they
watch back
throw the
on.
flag.
I mean, basically any
don't
quarterback
even
does it because of it.
like, I'm triggered now. I'm triggered.
yeah,
I mean,
Pat
every
Mahomes,
quarterback does
man. I
it.
mean, he's
Mahomes
a
does it so
flopper.
much. Man,
What?
he's
Flopper,
such a
man.
big baby.
Oh my
Such a
God.
baby. Oh,
Pretty sure, like he's got
You
that.
know, it's,
like
I understand.
you know that,
I understand
like,
what it's like
the
to not
hand,
be in the
the
playoffs.
hand
So I
mitt
feel for you
thing.
boys.
Like it's not he doesn't have that thing for his hands. He's got like tissues in there so that he can be like, "Moo, he touched me."
What's
he
happening right now?
does me.
Are you still talking football? What are we doing here?
No, I'm talking about
Pretty much
babies.
just, sounds like the NBA to me.
Yep. So Mahomes is going to the NBA. He's going to play for the Bulls.
Greatest of all time.
Bulls because
Watch
he
it.
full of bullshit.
Watch it happen. Watch it happen. So, okay, now divisional matchups. Everybody saw what happened. Now we got Bills Chiefs, Titans Bengals, Rams Bucks, and then the Packers and the Niners. Who you boys
Some
taking
good matchups
to
good
go
matchups.
to the NFC and
Championship
AFC
games.
Yeah.
championship games?
Divisional championship games.
Bengals, Bills. Fuck them Chiefs, bro.
Oh my God, dude. All right, you know, you
Yeah,
were
Bengals,
entitled to your
Bengals,
opinion.
Bills. The Bengals game I think is going to be a really tough game because
I'm hoping
Henry's
the Bengals
gonna
pull
be
through on
back,
that one. I really
and
do.
he's going to destroy. So here's the thing for me: Titans beat the Bengals, they're going to beat any other team on the AFC with Henry back. If he's fully at his
If he's at full capacity, yeah, I agree. I think that they're a tough team to beat.
Defensively, though, the Chiefs, I think Henry could beat with one leg. Okay.
I don't know. They tried last year. That didn't work out. Tried the year before too. Didn't work out.
You are so wrong that your audio cut out and they couldn't even let you answer the question.
Yeah,
That's
like,
how bad the Chiefs are.
like,
They
No, that's fine. That's fine. I am fully aware of the difficulty of the matchup coming up, and I'm scared and excited all at the same time. See
I
the
don't know, I
Bills
think-
and the Chiefs kind of rematch that Week 5 play, because we're a long ways from that game, and both teams are significantly different and improved at this point in the season. So it's going to be tight for sure. So okay, I've in the AFC. I'm gonna say,
I know what you're gonna say.
Bengals Chiefs for the title, the AFC title. NFC, I'm gonna go with the Packers Rams.
Yeah, I don't think the Niners are going to win.
No.
They could. I just don't see it though. I think
I
they're going to be
not
their
in
own worst
Lambeau.
enemy in that. I don't
Not
think
in Lambeau.
I don't think Green Bay is going to do anything crazy to beat them. Bless you. You good? You good? I think the Niners are going to hurt themselves. Like they're
Yep.
going to get
I
two in
agree
their,
completely.
maybe not two in their heads, but they're going to feel good about the Cowboy game, which they should feel good a little bit, but I think it's going to end up backfiring on them and have like a little hangover into that game.
Well, I mean, as much as people don't want to play it off, home field in the playoffs is huge, and the
Especially at
Packers having
Lambeau.
Lambeau is that's
When
going to
it's-
be.
When the weather affects it, absolutely.
Yep. I think that I'm gonna go very similar to Jeffrey. I'm gonna go Bills and I want to say I'm gonna go Bengals, Bills, Bengals, and then Packers, Rams. Yeah, I'm gonna go that route. I think that
I'm going to
the
the Packers Rams too. I
Packers
never said mine, but yeah, Packers Rams.
Packers against the Niners, I think that's going to be a really good matchup, probably better than most people would think. But I think that the Packers will be able to pound it, and I think that AJ Dillon is going to be the key to that game. I think that he's really built for that cold weather, and it hurts like hell getting hit in cold weather. And I think that he's going to just pound it on home, and I think that he's going to be their key to success. I think that Rodgers may throw a touchdown or two, but I think that Dillon is going to be that guy who, after Jones gets his yardage, which we know he will, I think that Dillon is still going to be that guy who makes those game-breaking plays. I mean, he's going to have a good yard per carry, and I think that he's going to be the key to success.
We'll see how he does with his COVID toe.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. He's going to be good.
Anthony, in all honesty, how many more years do you think the Chiefs have together with the way they are now?
I would say at least another 2.
I was going to
Kelsey,
So
Kelsey and Hill are still playing at a pretty high level, but I think they've really got to start focusing on getting more skill guys in the draft. I mean, they did pick up Clyde. That was a huge steal for them at the running back position. But they're always really good at finding decent running backs. Like, I mean, you look at McKinnon. When was the last time he did anything productive? In the last 2 weeks, the guy's just gone off. You know.
Well, he was
the last week of the
always
season. He didn't
been
really need to do anything.
Right. He's been that guy though. Like he'll be a flash in the pan when he needs to be. He did the same thing with the Niners too. Like, I mean, he's just not really gotten the chances to be the main guy. And even like back at the Vikings, like he had some, but like he's been so injury prone that it's been hard for him to stay healthy and actually get those chances. I don't know. I think that Jerick McKinnon is still a little underrated. When he was the guy, like I think that he ended up being a little bit overrated at that time, but he's a good change of pace back.
I would say the way that they play and the way that they progress at each season will remain relatively the same as long as they have Reed and Holmes on the same. And Spags running that defense, he's done a really good job of adjusting, at least midway through the season and putting people in spots where they need to be successful. The system they have in place is what's made them successful. And I think if you take out either Reed or Mahomes,
I think what's going to break them up is going to be the cost of having everybody there. It's like obviously the big 3 of Kelsey and Hill and Mahomes. That's a lot of money. And that's why
Then they already had
their offensive line because they're not going to get rid of their weapons. They'll let Mahomes scramble and throw all the ways around and pay him for it rather than
the offensive line they have this year though is light years ahead of what they had the last 2 years. Reed Humphrey, easily the top rated center in the whole league, and the guy, I mean, he should have been an all-pro pick this year. But ended up not being. Actually, I think this is one of the first times that nobody on the Chiefs, the All-Pro first team.
That's because we know that they're all overrated.
But I mean, they did start 3-4. It was looking pretty ugly. Turned it around, went 8 straight.
They started diving into those pocketbooks a little bit, taking the play out of the Patriots playbook. Yeah, we gotta get
they got it rolling. Bro. I think they always find a way.
These refs on our side.
They always find a way. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to division matchups. This is probably my favorite time of year.
Since we did our Super Bowl predictions in the first episode, and some of those are kind of broken, you want to wait to do that on the next episode to see how this week goes?
Let's hold off. Let's see what happens in the division episodes, and let's put out.
I want to give mine. I'm gonna give mine for this. I'm gonna change it next week because my teams are gonna lose anyway. But I'm gonna go Packers Bengals.
Chiefs Packers.
I'm gonna go Bengals Rams. Let's mix it up. Let's do a bunch of different variables here. All be wrong. Yeah. So real fast, Anthony, you say that the Chiefs line was light years ahead, but if I'm looking at this right, he was sacked 4 times against the Titans. 3 times against a football team, and they don't even have a name. Okay, sorry, it's the soon to be Commanders.
They will 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But like, there was only
What weeks were those?
3 weeks in the whole season where he didn't get sacked. Otherwise, all of them are like. So week 7 was the Titans. Let's go. I'll just read them off. 1. So I'm going to start from week 1 up. It went 2 0 2 1 2 3 4 2 1 0 3 1 3 1 2 0 1. Sound binary over here. I'm trying to get into the matrix with those numbers. Okay. That's
and look
light
at
years
what
ahead.
Look at what the Bucks did to them in the Super Bowl last year.
That's my point, though, is the Bucks showed their flaw, and because of that, they were able to get to him. The Washington football team was able to get to him 3 times.
I will say that I'm pretty sure that's when Chase Young was still healthy, correct? Arguably one of the best defensive.
Chase Young hasn't done shit this year, though. Like, I mean, before he got injured, he didn't.
Because he got injured early in the season.
Before he got.
When we want to
injured,
correct each other, we get real close to our microphone and be real dicks to one another.
He did.
That's what we should have called this episode. Dicks to each other. Don't call it dicks to each other.
No, Chase Young hasn't done shit since last season, though. Like, even before he got injured, he didn't do much this year. I mean, yes, he's good, but he wasn't the guy that was like putting the team on his back, though. So I don't know. I don't think did he have a sack against the Chiefs?
He had half a sack.
Yeah. See, so of those 3, you said, right? 3 against the football team?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had half a sack. Wasn't
Chase Young? I mean,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The results, but their record speaks for itself, right? They're still able to pull it out, still run their offense. Their run. Okay, so here, look at it this way. Okay. Look at their run offense this year compared to previous years. You don't have a run game. You don't have a run game unless you have an offensive line. Bottom line.
Well, of course, you don't have an offense. The only team that had a terrible offense and won the Super Bowl are the Ravens. When Trent Dilfer was there. Yeah.
That's
like
for president,
man. Arguably the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with
Brad Johnson wasn't that bad of a quarterback. Those are the same teams.
However, he wasn't a good quarterback though either, and I can't name another person on that offense.
But the offense didn't have to do anything because the defense did so much, which is the same for the Ravens in that other game. However, the offense for the Buccaneers had weapons. As far as I can remember, the Ravens had Shannon Sharp and one of the Lewis players. Take a guess of any of them. They had 17 of them on their team at one time named Lewis. So, I mean, it's the same, but it's not the same.
Mercedes.
No.
Cadillac. I can do it too.
No, well, Mercedes Lewis is a real person.
Yes, I'm saying names, man.
I don't think Mercedes Lewis ever played for the Ravens, though, did he?
No, he didn't. He played for the Jaguars, in a different vehicle.
Jaguar.
He's playing for the Packers now, right? Correct? He's still on that roster.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah. No, I think it's...
Yeah, I mean, they only average about 4.5 yards rushing this season, the Chiefs. I mean, I wouldn't say that's bad, but like...
It really isn't, though.
Not great.
Not great. Like, total rushing yards is 1955. Passing yards is 4791. Like, I'm not saying it's a terrible offense, but I can't agree that their offensive line is lightning years ahead. I think they found a way to be successful with Mahomes being more extra on the extra, but also doing more checkdowns than any other normal year.
Okay, and I would say part of the backing behind my statement is they've had a healthy offensive line this year compared to previous year. They went into the Super Bowl playing all second.
They've had a pretty decent health year all around.
So
A lot of other teams probably you couldn't say the same. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. And I think it really helped them kind of excel towards the latter part of the season. Why they're in the position, still healthy, still playing at a high level.
Their worst thing going for him was Kelsey getting COVID, and he was out 1 game.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, they
well,
haven't
okay.
lost
And there was
key players.
2 or 3 weeks there where Kelsey and Hill were irrelevant. I mean, you got like Demarcus Robinson stepping up. Byron Pringle has come up big when he needs to. Darrell Williams has been in there. You know, they got a lot of guys that can step up when they need. Hardman's been doing well lately, especially in the return game.
I always forget how to say his first name. Sorry.
Cole.
I keep think they're saying Nicole. Yeah. And then, yeah.
It reminds me of Michelle.
From Eurotrip?
No, not Eurotrip. Dodgeball.
Oh.
Michelle.
Dodgeball.
Mike.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a bull.
Man, motherfucker.
So that's what
Okay,
my
we can
kids
talk about
think.
3 different things at once.
Constantly throw shit and hits me in the nuts. And it's like, why? Like, it's like a target for dads and kids. And I don't understand it. Somebody explain this to me.
Let's take it up with AA.
What is it about your
Adults
offspring's
Anonymous.
appendages
I was like, wait, what?
that are just constantly beating you in the junk for no reason? It's just they always find a way to do it.
Oh man, I've got this dad. Like, I know everybody's got it now. Like, you're a dad, and kids come around you, and you just instinctively like cup, right? Like, or is that just me? Like, I don't.
That depends. When you relax at home and you wear short, I'm assuming you're wearing basketball shorts right now. Right?
I'm not
That's
actually. I'm wearing
ridiculous.
sweatpants.
Damn it. Okay.
Well, that's
when
very
you wear
judgy of you
basketball
there,
shorts-
Jeffrey.
It was.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm trying a new career path.
Dude,
Going
it's
into the legal
cold
field.
outside. Shit, I
It's
can't wear.
only negative
basketball-
33 yesterday. It can't be that
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But like, do you wear boxers underneath your basketball shorts? Because for me, no.
Boxer
So
briefs.
absolutely, I'm like,
Boxer briefs.
don't touch me.
Right.
And yeah,
Sorry, last time I checked,
it's-
a loincloth is not going to help buffer
it's
any of the
different,
damage.
But it's just like,
Slight.
hey guys.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I wear compression shorts, so maybe it's different than what you wear.
Right.
However, it's a little bit different.
Right. It is.
But
It is.
I
It
feel
does
like it's-
help though.
I'm not sure how often do you guys how like they move around in the car. When he moves around in the car, it's like he wants to just step right there to get onto my seat. Like when we get somewhere and he unbuckles and he comes up front. I'm gonna come up here now.
Oh,
Okay.
dude. Every time my kids move across the couch or something like that, and I'm sitting next to them, it's just like, I'm like, oh, why? And they're just like, as they springboard off my manhood, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why? Oh, it hurts so bad. I'm like, oh.
I won't say because of those situations is what happened, is what's had the cause and effect for what happens now. But he likes to swear.
right.
He's 4. The other day we were watching something, and I don't remember if it was because he really likes when we watch the Book of Boba Fett. And so we were watching it, and I think somebody hit somebody, and he goes, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "No, that's not the dialogue of the episode. That's not the dialogue of the episode." So the other night, we're asking him like, "Hey," he said it while he's eating dinner, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And well, I'm watching Harry Potter, so I know for a fact I didn't say anything on there. And I was like, "Hey, we don't say that. We don't say what the fuck." I'm like, "Tell it back to me that we don't say that." And I say, "We don't say the F word." And he goes, "We don't." And he looks at me and goes, "We don't say the B word." And I was like, "Get to bed." It's ridiculous. Like 4 years old and just immediately sass. Just 100%. You know what? I'm just not going to say the B word. I'll say what the fuck. I'll say it.
He secretly wants to step up in his chair and be like, "I'll kick your ass,
Dude.
old man."
He didn't have to step up. It was kind of like there was one of these like, we don't say the B word.
Bed.
Like,
How dare you
uh,
say bed?
I'm
I
gonna-
will not go
I'm gonna
there.
drop you on top of that Spider-Man table, buddy.
Man.
You want to
So
wrestle?
here's another question that it's just kind of like burning in my soul.
Ooh.
At what point
Ooh, Ghost Rider?
is it okay to saran wrap the entry to your kid's bedroom so they quit crawling into your bed at night?
No, man, you don't do that. You just put a lock
Well,
on that shit.
I don't want it to be weird.
No, I reversed
seen
the
At least I
Harry
could
Potter.
get through saran wrap
No,
at
you
first, but if they're
reverse-
like half asleep and they're just trying to walk through and just, like straight out of Home
You
Alone
reverse the lock
with some
and then
like
they can't
feathers
get
and a
out.
fan or something like that.
We'll lock you in this bitch.
In my experience, from what we'll say parents or guardians did in my past, they just moved all together and left me at the house by myself. So it was
Well, that
really
explains a lot.
effective. It does. Yeah.
So you
Thanks,
guys
Grandma.
aren't even biological at all,
No,
right?
I've got
You just ended up moving into the
our
house that
7-year-old.
Anthony moved into.
Yeah, I was already there.
Our 7-year-old is like white ninja, right? Caught her one night, come walking into the bedroom. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Ooh.
You know, I just lay down because I'm ready to
Not
put my
like
ass
Tom
to bed.
Brady. He dropped
Mhm.
that.
But you're not quite asleep yet, right? Kind of feel the bed
The
moving at the
worst.
bottom, and I just open my eyes, and she's kneeling, watching over us. Not saying anything, not moving,
I've seen Paranormal
but she's
Activity. This doesn't sound
observing
like the right path.
to see if we're actually asleep before she tries to make her move.
She's trying to adjust her eyes
To
in
get
the
in
dark
there.
to tell if you're breathing and like asleep or your eyes
So
are
then
open. Like,
I turn my head. I'm like, you know, you get the whole like, like, what are you doing? She just stares at us and goes, I thought you were asleep. And then gets up, walks out back to her room, and waits 30 minutes.
I wasn't.
Comes
asleep
back
until
in,
you're right in my
Comes
face.
back in and proceeds to Jet Li my kidneys all night long.
yeah. 7-year-old got some real good kicks in there. You need to stop putting them in sports.
Good Lord, she kicks like a mule. And then that's not it, though. She's got flappy appendages, too. She'll roll over, but her old
Oh, I
arm
got that checked
is
out.
like
They should
Gumby.
have, bones
It's
in
like a
there.
whip, and it comes across like,
Yeah.
whoosh, you know, right in the middle of your face as you're trying to sleep.
Whenever he's going to bed, he's like, "You want to come snuggle?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come snuggle," but I'm facing the wall because your feet immediately the moment you move kick me. Okay, and then he'll like come over like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you over there? What's going on? Come join us on this side."
It's funny because Emery, when she
We're in the
sleeps
fun
in our
zone.
bed, she's just like my wife, and it's like she wants to be close to you, but if you touch her, she gets crabby and she'll like smack you, and she's like, "Don't touch me!" Like, you're 4 years old, knock it off. Like, you wanted to sleep here. If I accidentally
did
touch
this.
you,
You
if
chose to
I
be here.
accidentally touch you, it's not on purpose because I don't want to be touched when I'm sleeping because I get really hot really quick.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I touch her and she just throws a fit and she starts flailing and kicking. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. I don't like that.
Speaking of
that's
flailing
fun.
and kicking, but the opposite of what is good. Did you guys happen to see the Moon Knight trailer the other night during that
Did
Monday
not.
night game?
I did not.
I did.
Have you
I
watched
did,
it?
in fact.
Have you watched it at all? 'Cause
Nah.
I'm super excited. I don't know much about Moon Knight in the comic world. I'll read up about it after I watch it to see, because I don't want to like taint it in the fact of like, all right, I know about it before I watch it, and then I watch it and it's not the way that people want it to be.
I'll give it a
But
chance.
the trailer looked really dope.
They did an okay job with the trailer. I think what it's really going to come down to is how they set the character up. It's they're already touching on how in canon the lead character is prior to becoming, Moon Knight, and then what it does to it. It's more or less that being Moon Knight has that effect on him, but they kind of give it to him beforehand. This whole psychosis thing.
Well, he's got split personality disorder.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I know about him. And like Mark, you'll learn more about it when you watch the trailer if you decide to, but it comes out in March. And what really so like the one thing about it that kind of bums me out, you don't really see him in the trailer because you don't know what his character's gonna look like. But there's an actor that was in it who died like I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday this week in the Alps in a skiing accident, and that was he's playing Midnight Man, which is just like a common thief criminal for Moon Knight. He likes to steal stuff, he's a collector and stuff like that. But the actor that plays him was in the Hannibal Rising movie as a young Hannibal Lecter. That's really the only movie I know him from, but I've watched that movie enough, and he was a really good actor in that. You saw him in some cologne commercials and stuff like that, but he was a really good actor in that movie. And I'm kind of like, it's sad for the fact of like to know that he's not going to be able to see himself in the Marvel and how people were able to appreciate what he's giving us as that material, but also like I don't know him that at all, obviously, or his other films and stuff like that. So like I'm not like, oh man, not as bad as Chadwick Boseman, which sounds bad, but like you have another connection with that actor because of what they bring to you as a fan, and it kind of like is kind of a bummer that he's not going to be able to see what he did for us, type of thing.
That's too bad.
Yep. No, I think like this whole start to the year has been this whole start to the year has been just like there's been so many people that's passed already.
So much
it's
death.
nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You look at it and it's like
Meatloaf is dead. I don't even like Meatloaf the food, but his name was Robert Paulson. Well, his name will forever be Robert Paulson.
Louis Anderson.
So, yeah.
Like,
Bob
it's
Saget,
crazy.
I just had this,
Eddie
this
White.
conversation. So like Louis Anderson, I could have sworn died a long time ago.
That was Ralphie May. That was Ralphie May.
Man, I don't know. I could have sworn he died a long time ago.
All fat white
like,
guys look the same.
No. Like,
You need to get out more.
And then
Like, look at me and Anthony.
we
Look
had
at me and Anthony.
we had
See?
this conversation. Like I had this conversation earlier today, and we were talking about him, and I was like, man, I could have sworn he died earlier. And then they were like, no, he's not dead. And like, and then we're talking, and I'm like, yeah, Andy Milonakis too. He was dead too, like a long time ago. They're like, no, he's alive too. And I'm like, the fuck? Like they're alive. I know that they were alive, but it's
Living a very dark
things where it's
reality,
just
sir.
like, come on, man. Like it's people that you don't
Come
really
on,
hear
man.
about that often. Like you
Right.
don't hear about him that often. So it's like, oh man, I haven't heard about him for so long that like, oh, he's got to be dead now. But
it's
not
just been
quite the
crazy.
case.
Gotta be dead now, guys.
He's
Let's
gotta be
hope-
dead now.
Let's hope that it
Dude,
picks up and we
On
get some
that
better
same
things.
token, I saw on Twitter, and like my heart stopped. It was like, how did it start? James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa, celebrating his 91st birthday today.
Oh,
I
man.
was like, what the fuck? Why would you start with happy birthday? Start with happy
Right.
birthday. Don't
Right.
fucking, I'm like reading it. I'm like, where's the part where he's dead? I'm like, he's alive.
Victory.
Don't tell me Darth Vader is dead.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So
Not to bring up another thing here, but yeah. Okay, cool. Guess we're done.
no, it's been a crazy year. We got a lot of stuff to hopefully look forward to.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Don't forget
things.
about the question: Peter Parker versus the guy that left the Force behind. So you decide. You decide, guys.
Leave us
We all know who it's
your
gonna be.
decisions and opinions in the comments, please. We need to know.
Sweat.
Settle this once and for all within the gamer universe here.
What's the universe?
What would actually happen? But we look
Pretty
forward
badass.
to bringing you all some more classic content. We'll be reaching out. We'd like to hear from you guys. You know, get some input. What do you guys want to hear? What is it that we could bring
What
you
are your
guys that would
burning
be
questions?
entertaining? Yeah. You
What are
know,
your
let's
burning
get,
questions?
let's
What
get
do you-
involved here with our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, great episode. Look forward to getting episode 3 in. We will see you all next week.
Deuces.